Hey, it's time for the opening crack, the side show to the D&D show we normally do where we taste and rank some beer. Phil's in the seat tonight. I've got Ross and Brett and Damon here with me tonight. How we doing,
here.
fellas?
Woo! We're good.
We are coming at you with a
beer.
wonderful beer.
Yeah.
This
A
is another Damon beer, so it's another grown-up beer.
Grown-up
Not
beer.
weird, fruity stuff that we normally do.
I've missed some Damon grown-up beer, so I'm excited for tonight's beer. As Ross chuckles over there. So tonight, we are drinking a beer by Empyrean Brewing Company based out of Lincoln, Nebraska. And come to find out that this beer is part of a series of beers that they call Carpe Brewem. Super clever name. But what we're drinking tonight is the Carpe Brewem Old-Fashioned Imperial Stout. And before we get into details, description, all the good stuff, what's your guys' initial impression?
It's chocolatey.
Ooh, very chocolatey. Yeah, I agree with that. Yes.
That was the first thing that hit me. So, ooh, chocolatey.
This is a full mouthfeel. Like it's all there.
Mm-hmm.
Very complex. Lots of different flavors. Like you get the chocolate, then there's some dried fruit. There's a little bit of bitterness in that. It's like there's lots of levels to this one.
It also has just that slight, and it's slight for something that says barrel aged on the side of the can, like a slight whiskey flavor or scent,
Yeah.
I guess, aroma.
Mm-hmm.
It's not heavy.
It's a long ways from our pickle beers.
Our pickle beers didn't smell like whiskey.
If pickle beers were Salt Lake City, Utah, this one would be like somewhere in Pennsylvania.
I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah, where's this?
No,
go-
I just illustrating the distance apart.
Can I just side note?
Yeah.
Salt Lake City, Utah.
Mhm.
The most pristine public parking garages that I have ever seen in my life.
Shout out to
Interesting.
SLC.
Very, very
Yeah,
clean
Salt
public
Lake.
transportation.
Pristine, incredibly well lit.
Oh, it's all the
sure.
Olympic stuff, isn't it?
It was
That's
insane.
part of it, yeah. Well, if you want to talk about barrel age, so Epic Brewing Company, side note from Salt Lake City, brew some fantastic barrel aged beers
Nice.
that we should find and do on a future show.
Okay.
Field trip.
Or that. If you're listening, you can send us some beer.
I mean, it seems as though the easiest way to get that beer is to go to the source.
They also make a sour IPA.
Ooh,
Yes, I know.
That could be interesting.
It is.
I'm
Well.
intrigued.
Sorry. Tangent.
When we go to Salt Lake.
Anyway.
To the non-
Nice.
Back to Empyrean.
To the non-sour IPA.
Well, a long way from that too.
Oh yeah.
So, description-wise here, well, style, as it says, we're drinking an Imperial Stout. It's called Old-Fashioned Imperial Stout, hence the barrel-aged component of that. But they describe it as, like the famous drink of legend, this old-fashioned stout is threaded through with deep cherry sweetness, a subtle bitter orange peel finish, A subtle bitter orange peel finish balances the smooth, roasty Imperial Oatmeal Stout, as if to remind you this is beer, not a cocktail. Or is it the best of both? Thing I find missing from that description is kind of the chocolatey note.
I think it's the
Yeah.
roastiness
Maybe
of
that's
it.
what it is.
Like it's
Yeah.
that smoky
Yeah.
roasted flavor that really comes through, kind of like chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Have you guys
Yeah.
do you pick up the orange peel?
To me, it comes out mostly in the bitterness. Like I don't taste outright orange. I definitely taste cherry. Like after you mention cherry, you get some like dark fruit flavors in there, especially
Like
like
a dark cherry.
yes, like stone fruits. I can pick that up. But that chocolate note is so forward in it when you take a sip. Like if you wouldn't have told me old fashioned, I probably wouldn't have picked out. It would have taken me a while to get to cherry.
It's like it starts out as a dark beer, as a normal dark beer, but then it finishes with more of that old-fashioned flavor at the end.
Sure.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah. Like the more it lingers, the more
Yes.
of those sorts of
They
notes
come through.
that I pick up on.
So do you feel like the old fashioned comes through because of the high alcohol content? Because I feel like that's what lasts on my palate is like the alcohol hits at the end to me. So like it
Yeah.
feels like an old fashioned then because it doesn't. It's that higher alcohol kind of like it's the alcohol finish to it.
Slightly, but not like some of the other beers we've had have that high alcohol flavor alcoholness to them. This doesn't have that high alcoholness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, the end is where I pick up more of the fruit notes
Okay.
than at the start.
I agree. Yeah, if it almost to me it sits on the back of my tongue. It's like as it hits the back end of my mouth is kind of where I pick that up. It has a little bit of that old fashioned-y taste. Like I understand what Ross is saying, and I at the end of it is when I relate it back to that drink. But it's only I say I guess 8.5%. But for something that gets aged in a barrel, we typically can see a lot higher. I think when you guys had the barley wine, like that was considerably higher than 8.5, correct?
I don't remember.
I see lots
believe
of
so.
inquisitive questions here, and I
That was
didn't
a
drink
while
it,
ago.
so I have no idea.
I remember it was damn good.
Yeah.
It was.
I think the thing with the barley wine was at that time, that beer they had paired with a whiskey company. So it was like they weren't trying to impart other flavors. Like this is going for the old fashioned, so you're getting those other flavors. And I don't think they were shooting for other flavors in that beer at all. It was like I don't even remember what style it was. It was a darker beer aged in whiskey barrels, whereas this is.
It was a barley wine.
Oh yeah, duh. Yeah, you right. You're right.
I would say this one is more complex than that one was.
Yeah.
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 Like
Yeah.
it's trying to impart more flavors while it's there
Mm-hmm.
than the barley one.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other words that was in there was oatmeal.
Yeah, an oatmeal stout, which means that they threw some oats into it, flaked oats. And flaked oats, one of the things that flaked oats helps to do is give the beer better head retention, actually. And so like when you pour it, like that head on the beer will stick around a little bit longer and give it a little bit kind of a silkier kind of a feel.
Is that like the starches from the oats or something, or like?
Yeah, it
Okay.
has to do with. You've asked me a technical question that I don't.
Sorry,
Something chemically involved there.
have any-
prone to do that. I apologize.
Yeah, I'm not a chemist.
My bad.
I already love the insight you gave though, because it's like they call it an oatmeal stout, but really they just threw some oats in there to try to make the head look a little bit better. Like that was
Yeah.
the goal.
The beer already tasted good. We got to make sure the head looks.
Yes,
good. It's got
absolutely.
to be presentable.
And like, I mean, you do get some additional sugar content from oats as well,
Sure.
and then that sugar obviously converts into alcohol. But yeah, just because of the different nature of oats as compared to barley, yeah, it helps with. One of the things it helps with is what they call head retention.
What does the can look like for this guy?
Well, it's cylindrical.
That's typical.
Typically
Has
made of
a
aluminum.
has a pop top on the top.
Can we find one that's square? Is that a thing? Does anyone serve out of a square can?
This is a pretty simple beer. Like a lot of the beers these days are very over the top graphically designed. This just has kind of a shield in the middle of it with Carpe Diem, barrel aged, and old fashioned Imperial Stout.
Carpe Brewem.
Carpe Brewem, excuse me, and limited edition.
But absolutely, you should carpe diem.
It's kind
and
of a
drink this beer.
brownish color. It's got a badge on it.
It has some oranges and cherries on around the shield, so they are subtly
it's an
there.
Orange. I was trying to figure out what the one little picture was. Okay.
It's just like little bits of orange.
Is the color supposed to be like wood grain, like a barrel?
Oh, like
the barrel aging.
I thought it was supposed to be like 1970s carpet.
And that's on the wall, not the floor.
Yeah,
Thank
Fun.
you for that.
Shout out
somebody.
to those of you from the 70s listening in.
Fun fact.
Oh god.
The-
Bonus.
Oh no. Buckle up.
The bank in Victor, Iowa. There's two banks in Victor, Iowa. One of the banks in Victor, Iowa, where my parents banked, had carpeted walls
Ooh, yeah.
Oh wow.
until
Oh no.
Until COVID.
I think they got rid of them slightly before COVID, but until like at least 2014.
Wow.
That's just a statement piece at that point.
It's amazing. Double fun fact. when they took it,
vacuumed
I used to talk about
That's what I was gonna ask. Do they vacuum it?
They rake it. They don't vacuum it. They
Oh,
rake
no.
it. Shag carpet, bro.
no double fun fact. I used to talk about this all the time with my family about how amazing I thought that it was, and when they were taking it down and replacing it, my dad got a piece of that
No.
and gave it to me for Christmas.
Please tell me this is hanging in your home.
So I have a piece of it at my house, and my intention is to frame it
Yes.
and put it up somewhere on one of our walls.
Can you please send me a picture of that? I think we should put that with the post with this episode.
Oh, that's so great.
It's amazing.
What color? Did you say it was brown carpet?
No,
Your wife is gonna murder you.
that's
if
what
it's-
this is.
Is it
The,
green
the
carpet?
carpet there was like a greenish.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Of course it was green.
hmm
God,
It looks like if it was a, and it's like shag.
of course
This, is,
it has to be.
this has a lot to do with this beer, Like, but it's the color that you would expect like a putting green to be.
Oh, okay.
It's that sort of a
That
green.
deep green. kind of
Yeah.
color.
Can we make the background to the picture for this episode? This carpet.
You bet we can. Just
So,
just
it's
search
a-
shag carpet on
Yes.
Canva.
So to sum up, I think it's a good beer.
Yep.
The more you know.
I'm helping.
I love it. I know in some of our other reviews we've talked IBUs before, which almost more so just kind of speaks to the style of the beer. And I suppose, Damon, I'm kind of going to put you on the spot, but does a typical stout, Imperial Stout, this is showing IBUs of 25? Does that kind of fall within that normal range for this style of beer?
Yeah, that seems about right. Right, like it's not. Yeah, that seems about right.
Okay.
Like there's
Yeah.
a little bit
Hey,
there,
good
but
job.
not overly bitter.
Mm-hmm.
Any last kind of taste notes on this beer? Anything else you picked up we didn't cover?
I don't think so.
Let's transition back into the world of D&D. And I want to know what this beer's called and where it's served. Who's going to kick us off tonight, Brett?
So this is a beer that doesn't have a name because it comes from the monastery of the Black Cherry, which is an order of monks that brew this beer and they just subtly give it out to their disciples as they're going through their training, and they just are able to relax a little bit between their training sessions and have a glass of this beer before they go back to try and become followers of the Black Cherry.
Ross has a
I
question.
have a question.
Yeah, like, is this a thing?
Do the monks here like wear like little cherry hats or something?
Yeah, like they're of the monks of the Black Cherry. So I
With
assume
the
that they
stem.
are worshiping the cherry.
It's like a little hat with a little stem.
The
out of it.
stem, yes, the
It's like an
stem.
antenna. They walk around like bobs.
They get a better reception with that thing on the top of their head.
I love it. Oh my god. I'm sorry.
They really miss out on the hot radio stations from Baldur's Gate. Like, they're up in the mountains.
You go up on top of the monastery with one arm up and one leg out, and your head cocked to the left.
And
You
that's
can
why
pick-
they
you can
have to
pick it up.
stand there for hours.
Nope.
They gotta catch the moth radio hour.
Oh my gosh.
It's like their own little shortwave radio. They got little earpieces. Oh my god.
Who's next?
I can go next.
Okay, where are you going?
So similar and also dissimilar, Brett, from what you were thinking.
Oh, okay.
So this can be found at a tavern called Mysterium.
Mm.
I cannot tell you where this is because it's a mystery.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's one of those sorts of places. And this is simply known as beer number 4 at the Mysterium. They're not going to give away any of their secrets. They're not going to give anything away of their methods, their process, their ingredients, It's simply beer number 4.
Ooh.
I feel like the vibe so far is that we really like this beer, but the 2 breweries so far, you can't get it. It's at a monastery and a mysterious
Sucks.
missing brewery.
Yeah.
Do they have a star rating?
Wouldn't you like to know?
Ooh. Yes.
Do they have Yelp in D&D?
It's that chonkiness level.
Chunk. Look it up on the chunk.
Oh man. For mine, we're gonna head to Tribor, to the Ironhorn Brewing Company. They are practicing full-on capitalism. So if you'd like this beer, you can go here and pick it up. This is called the Dwarven King Reserve, and it's made by their head brewer's name is Misty. She's a dwarf. The owner,
How do you spell Misty?
Misty.
Okay.
Was there like what other spelling?
No,
I
there's
thought it
gotta
was maybe M-Y?
Yeah, it's definitely an extra
Ooh,
one.
M-Y-S-T-I.
Misty.
Ooh,
Sure,
with
yeah,
an
let's
I
go.
at the end? Okay.
Yeah, maybe she works at, what was it, Mystique?
Mysterium.
Mysterium. Misty from
Okay,
the
so
Mysterium.
we're gonna retcon this. It's MYSTI.
Yeah. That's
Not-
so much better.
Yes. Yes. M-Y-S-T-E-E?
Yes,
Ooh.
double E.
T-E-A.
Oh. Miss T, she drops the
Oh,
tea.
she works for the Lipton Company.
She spills the tea.
So anyway,
You're doing great. Ross.
I know, right? It's fine.
Sorry, we didn't raise our hand.
Get on that, guys. Come on. Jeez. So Misty got captured by an orc named Black Knot,
Oh, shit.
who wow, plot twist. Oh shit. And then she fell in love with him.
Ooh.
Suffered from a case of Stockholm syndrome here.
Uh-huh.
Is that Black
then-
Knot with 2 Ks?
He- WTF, man.
He gets 2 T's.
Anyway, when she escaped, she stole the recipe from him. I'm going to get out of here as fast as I can.
So this was his, what was his name?
Black Knot?
Okay. This was his, he came up with this.
Correct.
Was this like a traditional, he was a what? An ogre?
He's an orc.
An orc.
Yes.
Are they like ogres?
Sure.
Okay.
No, because ogres are like onions.
Fair enough.
They have
So many layers.
Oh, man. All right.
Hey, folks, this is why you listen to
I want
this.
to rein us back in here a little
How are you
bit.
going to follow up with that one?
Well, I totally changed this from when we started this episode. So, this beer is called Carl's Carpet Cask Aged Draughts.
Jesus Christ.
C cubed.
Okay, that's much better.
And you can find this at the Woolly Walled Inn at the bar. And this
Like it.
beer tavern is fully inspired by Damon's fun fact. So,
Does Ed McAdam work there by any chance?
does now.
Yes, and
Yes, that's right. It's a family business. All right. The other component of our D&D side of these reviews, challenge rating. So we like to rate these beers from a scale of a CR1 to a CR20. Ones being, we say cream ale, lighter ale, and then 20s we talk about double IPAs. We've done a triple IPA. It's subjective, so we give our opinions, but where are we at?
what's a CR20 monster?
I'm pretty sure that's a trick question, but no, I try to think. I think that maybe the aspect of Tiamat might be a challenge rating 20, but
Sure.
don't
An
quote me on
ancient
that.
ancient chaos dragon?
Sure, that sounds great. What else you got?
What's a
'Cause
CR1?
Ancient Chaos Dragon is not
Be like a
from
goblin. Like
the normal Monsters Manual.
Ooh, a father dragon? Draken?
Nope.
A inferno?
Sure. There really aren't that many challenge rating 20 monsters because trust me, I've tried to find them to figure out how to squash you guys like bugs, and there aren't that many.
There's really not. The
You have to
nightmare.
go to supplemental
rabbit.
material. Now, I will say if you have the Midgard books that there are some options out there. But
Uh-oh. Look out, world. Okay, challenge rating you asked
yes,
about.
yes, David. take
Ancient
us
brass
away.
dragon? Okay, go.
Oh, that's a real one.
ancient
Here's
brass dragon.
Yes.
Brass.
Oh,
Bend over.
Anyway, back to the rating.
It's a legendary action.
What's your level of chonkiness?
We broke Phil.
Shit.
Might have to
Brett's
do a little work
crying.
on this one. Ross.
Here's what I think about this.
Mhm.
I think if a person gets 4 to 5 drinks into this beer, they're not going to have any problem
Ooh.
That's true.
after that. At first, it might sort of threaten to overwhelm them in some sort of a way, right?
Sure.
But if they just say, "Oh, it's just chocolate. I like chocolate. I'm going to keep drinking chocolate." And they get 5 in, just, drinks in, swallows in, then they'll be fine after that. So I'm going to go with whatever explanation that is. I'm going to say this is probably I'm going to say a 9. I'm going to give a 9
9.
I thought he was going to
Whoa,
give a 12. That's
really?
where I was thinking it would be. I like
to
it.
this.
I'm going 17
Ooh.
Sure.
for those same reasons, but slight change.
Yeah.
Less swallows.
No. If you tell them it's chocolate, you got to specify dark chocolate.
Oh,
Mm,
a little bitter. I get it.
Yeah, it's not milk chocolate, it's dark
Yeah.
chocolate. It's like
Yeah.
it's not for everybody. You got to try.
Yeah.
But it's still tasty.
Yep.
See, and I think, so you were 9, you were 17.
Yeah.
I feel like in between those. I'm thinking like 12, 13-ish, also similar reasons, but also I think not that we pulled out necessarily the flavor of coffee, but I think if you like coffee,
Yeah.
I also think you could probably
Sure.
drink
yeah.
this. It has some coffee adjacent flavors that you could be comfortable with. If you don't like dark beers, you're probably not necessarily going to like this, but I think you should try it anyway. If you don't like dark beers, that's probably because you haven't tried a good one. Let's be honest.
Accurate. Yeah.
Like, that's usually the truth.
I find it interesting that we say double IPA and Imperial Stouts as our example for a CR20, and this is not going to get a 20. I'm going to go with a 14. That was my first gut reaction that I had. Also, my thought is, like, when people are looking at beers, particularly beers that they've never tried before, they're reading descriptions about them. So they know what they're getting into. And if they're attracted because it says old fashioned or because it says barrel age, they know that this is going to be a higher alcohol content beer, that's going to be a dark beer. So I agree with Damon's thought process then. Is like, if they know what they're getting into and they get 5 sips into it and they like it, they're going to finish the one they have and maybe have another one. But I think this is higher than what did you give it? An 8?
9.
I think I said 9.
So
I would also say I would probably lean any dark beer in the 10 plus range.
I agree.
Just because there's so many people that will only do a Miller Lite, Bud Light. Like,
Sure.
Domestic.
But I
Yeah,
think
this is just like I always find this to be a weird question.
yeah, it is.
Right? Because everybody approaches from a different place.
Yeah.
sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? And so like their expectations are completely different.
And as a reminder, this is not is it good or is it bad?
Right. No.
Correct.
No, 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 no. Mhm.
It's how approachable is it
Mhm.
in general.
Mhm.
Well, I know sometimes too we've done like, oh, this is probably like a 9 or 13 or whatever. But for me,
Yes.
it's a lot lower, right? Like,
Oh,
I
sure. Yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
us, yeah.
I would-
absolutely.
easily drink this beer.
Totally.
Probably too many in a row, and it would be problematic.
Sure.
So yay
Yeah.
or nay? You're saying yay?
Oh, big yay for me. I would
Yeah.
absolutely drink this beer again.
Yeah. Yay for me too. I would say the one caveat though to your dark beers being higher than a 10 though. We haven't tried any of Damon's beer, but like the Bat's Nut Brown Ale, even though it's dark, it is very approachable. I would put that under a 10 for somebody.
That we need to try that one. That
Yeah.
that
So,
would
but-
be under 10.
But that's
Like-
just an example of something that it wouldn't necessarily fit that category. I agree, though. Most darks are probably that way, but that's an example of one that would not fit that.
This is a yay for me as
For sure.
well. Right? The question is, would I have another one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yay.
No contemplation.
I would say yay. I would not have a second one right now.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I would need
Agreed.
to have one of these
Yes.
on its own. I wouldn't want to have
Yeah.
two.
That's called responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
Yeah.
a like
is a-
sipping
yes.
during a snowstorm beer.
Watching the snow come
Yeah,
down.
This is what this is.
After the kids go to bed.
Great example. Yes.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is. You don't
Yep.
need more than one
Sold.
of these
Yeah.
an evening.
Sold.
I do agree though. It's almost like the chunk, whereas like chunk's at the other end of the scale, but it's like you couldn't drink two of these back to back, but like one and then something else,
You're
and then
good.
come back to this, it'd be fine. Yeah.
You kind of need a like palate break.
Yes.
Like not a palate cleanser, just like a I'm gonna take a break for a minute and just come back to it later.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, this has been the Carpe Brewem Old Fashioned Imperial Stout from Empyrean Brewing in Lincoln, Nebraska. You can find them at EmpyreanBrewingCo.com. And that is going to do it for this episode. Stay tuned for more beer reviews in the future. You can check out our regular show, Bards and Barrels, anywhere podcasts can be found. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Bards and Barrels. Until next time, may your dice be hot and your beer be cold.